Hello, everyone out there in Rumble X and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to continue to talk about Mamma Mia. That's right, Mamma Mia, your favorite gay movie from 2008. Although technically there are no gay characters in this movie. The whole movie is one big gay bar. It really is. But what's funny about it is that they're pretending to be straight. Okay, but you're not fooling anybody. Okay, there's a reason straight guys didn't form a line around the block to go to the movie theater to see this. All right, there's a reason that never happened. Okay, and the only reason I'm reviewing this movie, and no, I'm not going to review the sequel. I know they made a sequel. I ain't going to touch that one. All right, I do not want to see this any more of this. I've seen enough. I don't need to see any more of this. All right, unless you make me, but there's a bunch of movies I still got to get through. Anyway, the only reason I picked this movie was because I'd never seen it before, number one. And I knew it had some sort of a cultural impact. I knew there was ABBA songs in it because I remember ABBA when I was a little kid. I remember my relatives, my aunts and cousins, and stuff were dancing to that stuff on the radio. Yeah, I'm that old. If you were playing the records, yes, I'm that old, all right? But I was a toddler, and I remember ABBA being like a big thing. Okay, disco was a big thing when I was a little kid in Chicago. Discos were up in the late 70s, man. Disco ruled, okay? And that was the first music I ever remember being exposed to. Like, I remember listening to disco, and I remember all the grown-ups were crazy about it, Saturday Night Fever, okay? And, there was a show called Dance Fever on TV, hosted by Danny Terrio, a professional disco dancer. He had his own record that taught you how to dance, step one, around and together with the right. Anyway, Danny Terrio, he also trained John Travolta to dance in Saturday Night Fever. He's the one that taught him how to dance for that movie. So disco was just a big thing. Okay, and I remember that. And again, I have a very soft spot in my heart for disco. So whenever I come across disco movies or something, I usually give it a chance. I usually get, to watch it. Okay, just appreciate. I know disco is dead. It's never really dead. It'll never die. It'll never die. Disco lives forever. Okay, but I understand that it's not what it used to be. Okay, I concede it's not what it used to be. Okay, and that's fine. Taste, change. Fads come and go. Stuff that was popular 20 years ago is not popular anymore. That's just life. Okay, but I just remember this is the first time I ever really noticed the cultural imprint of that era, the late 70s. All right, that's the first thing I remember is the late 70s. Okay, as a child, so I can only look at it back now, look at it from adult eyes, and I was like, okay, a lot of that stuff was stupid. A lot of the stuff that happened back then was kept away from me. I couldn't understand. I didn't know about the gas prices. I didn't know about Nixon, resigning. Okay, I didn't realize, that Jimmy Carter, who I remember was our president. Now I realize that he was a big coward. Okay, a very beta male. Okay, but I didn't know that back then. Okay, Reagan. I knew he was I didn't know he was a movie star and that he'd done all these movies. Like just the stuff you don't understand when you're a little kid. But the stuff that I did understand was disco. Okay, it was everywhere. Okay, Disco Duck. I remember dancing to that. Disco Duck. Disco Duck. That was a popular song. Rick Dees, 1978, I think it was, or 79. Yeah, Disco Duck. That was an actual thing. He actually sang that song with Donald Duck voice. Disco Duck. Yes, I'm not gonna do it. But I have a soft spot in my heart for disco. Okay, so whenever I come across something, from that era, I like to give it a watch or something, because I understand that it was a fad, and like all fads, they're made by immature people that don't know what they're doing. But there's a lot of good stuff in disco. A lot of great songs came out of disco. Donna Summer came out of disco. Okay, there was a movie called Thank God It's Friday, and if you have not seen it, I highly recommend you go see it. Okay, it's a very good movie, very, very good disco movie. They were trying to capitalize on the disco craze. Okay, and it was a comedy. It was a sitcom. Okay, it was a sitcom with like 5 different stories. And all these different stories, different actors, their storylines all converge in a discotheque on a Friday night in LA. Okay, and it's very funny. A lot of TV actors are in there. Okay, these were actors that popped up on different TV shows. You know, they were on Wonder Woman or Eight Is Enough or, you know, Love Boat, whatever. They were like popping in and out of all those shows, and like they got a lot of them to show up for this movie. You know, you've probably heard that song "Take My Breath Away" from Top Gun. The name of the band is called Berlin. They sang that was a one-hit wonder. They sang that song, but the lead singer of that, I don't know her name. Look it up. But she was in this movie. She was in Thank God It's Friday. Okay, she played one of the main characters. There was a girl that ended up being on the show Fame. I'm gonna live forever. Yeah, she was in this movie. You had some guy who was obviously white, Jewish white guy who was pretending to be Mexican. You know, he was playing. What was his name? Carlos Lopez, the Leatherman. You know, yeah, and he did this whole salsa dance thing. You know, one of the standouts though of the movie was Deborah Winger. Yes, Deborah Winger herself from the movie Officer and Gentleman that I reviewed on this channel. It's on here. Okay, Deborah Winger, Academy Award winner, Deborah Winger. She was in this movie. And this was like right around the time that she had quit playing Wonder Girl on the Wonder Woman TV show. Yes. Deborah Winger was Wonder Girl. Okay, I got the episodes right here. Okay. Deborah Winger was Wonder Girl. That's Wonder Woman's teenage sidekick. I know, I watched the episodes. She was Drusilla. Now a comic book nerd, and I know that. And they got it wrong. Okay? Wonder Girl in the comic book's name was Donna Troy, not Drusilla. They made up the character Drusilla for the TV show. But there is a Wonder Girl from the comic books, all right? Anyway, the point is, okay, Deborah Winger's in this movie, okay? And who else? Oh, and Jeff Goldblum. Yes, Jeff Goldblum. The Jeff Goldblum is in this movie as well. This is after he played the rapist in Death Wish. He had no lines in that movie, but he raped Charles Bronson's wife in that movie, and his daughter too. Yeah, he was one of the rapists in that one. All right, so Jeff Goldblum, yes, Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park, Seth Brundle from The Fly, yes. He's in this movie. He played the owner of the nightclub. Yeah, so it's a funny movie, but the reason I bring it up is that because this was the era. This is the era, the earliest thing that I remember as a little kid is that whole era of the disco. Everybody was cashing in on disco. Now, I didn't understand about exploitation. I didn't understand about any of that stuff or capitalism or any of that stuff when I was a toddler. But I just remember the energy that the grown-ups had and that I had. Okay, you know, when my aunts and uncles were getting excited over a song on the radio, I got excited over that song, you know? And it'd be something like, you know, like Boogie Nights by Heatwave, and it was good. It was just good. It was the thing. You know, my uncle had a friggin' afro, and he was like Mexican, and he had an afro. Bell bottoms. I remember this. Okay, and I remember Liza Minnelli was a big deal. I don't know for what for, but she was a big deal. Okay, I didn't know that she was this this gay icon. I didn't know about that, like her mom was. I didn't know about that. I just knew that she was everywhere. Okay, I didn't know about Studio 54. Okay, I didn't realize that when Superman 2 came out, you know, the Phantom Zone criminals, General Zod and Ursa and Non, the ones that fought Superman. Okay, I didn't realize that they were all rejects from Studio 54. I didn't know. I didn't know what gay was. You know, when I watched Three's Company and they said the word gay, I thought they were just making fun of Jack. I didn't know that it meant something. I had no idea. Oh my God. You know, I remember watching The Eyes of Laura Mars. You remember that movie with Faye Dunaway, The Eyes of Laura Mars? Oh my God. And Tommy Lee Jones was the detective who was like trying to protect her in the disco era. Yeah, she was like a photographer, fashion photographer. And, you know, and there's a serial killer like hunting all of her friends down, killing all of her friends, all her coworkers and stuff, and finally coming after her, you know. And Raul Julia was in that movie too. You know, and then at the end, you find out that the killer is Tommy Lee Jones, the cop. He's the killer. Because she can see what the killer sees, but she can't see the killer. Anyway, the point is, this is all the disco shit that I remember, okay? Disco Beaver from outer space. Now, who the hell is watching this right now that even knows what the hell that is? Disco Beaver from Outer Space. It's a rated R comedy, sketch comedy show that appeared like at 2 in the morning on HBO. You had to have HBO back then. Okay, and it was rated R, so what the hell was my 4 or 5-year-old ass doing watching that? Okay, there were sex jokes in there, okay? It was like an adult version of Saturday Night Live. What the hell was I doing watching that? Okay, what the hell was I doing watching Looking for Mr. Goodbar with my brother who's only a year older than me, alone on a Friday night while mom was working her third job? Okay, watching Looking for Mr. Goodbar, okay? You know? And if you want to know what that movie's about, look it up, okay? Diane Keaton was in that movie. So was Richard Gere, okay? Yeah, and Tom Berenger. Oh, my God. That's how I know this stuff, because I was exposed to it as a kid, all right? And, of course, I was exposed to ABBA, too. So I have a very fond memory for you know, just the disco era. It wasn't just John Travolta shaking his ass, okay, to the Bee Gees. There was a lot more to it than that. Okay, and because of that reason, I knew that ABBA was a big part of this movie. I knew that we were gonna get a lot of ABBA music, and I remember that music. A lot of it I actually liked. I actually like a lot of ABBA songs. I like Dancing Queen. It's fun. You know, I used to manage a nightclub in Chicago where we played nothing but oldies, and it was the hottest nightclub in Chicago. It's called the Hang Up. Okay, those of you who've ever been to Chicago, the Gold Coast, you know where it is. The Hang Up. It's been around since 1973. Okay, you walk in there, all they do is play old songs. They play Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond every single night. Okay, they play Bon Jovi in there. They play Stuck in the Middle with You by Steeler Wheels. Okay, I mean, they play a bunch of old stuff in there. Okay, and they play ABBA. Okay, they play Dancing Queen every night. You know, they play Waterloo. They play a bunch of stuff in there, a bunch of old stuff. Okay, they play, you know, all sorts of stuff in there. You know, Take on Me by Aha. You know what I mean? Duran Duran. Okay, they play all that old stuff in there, but stuff that people remember from their youth. They remember their childhood, and that's kind of how I feel about disco. I'm very nostalgic for it. It's the first cultural thing that I remember as a little boy. All right, so that's why I was attracted to this movie. That's why I decided I'd give this movie a chance. Okay, unfortunately, what I wanted and what I got are not the same thing. Okay, yes, there's ABBA in there, but ABBA doesn't actually do the singing. Okay, it's actually sung by actors that cannot sing. Okay, now I know Pierce Brosnan's a great actor. Obviously, Meryl Streep's an incredible actress. She's got all the awards to prove it, all the Academy Awards to prove it. Okay, and she got them back when like they actually meant something. Okay, and not like today where they just give it away to whoever's the right, you know, sexuality or the right color or that kind of thing, right gender. Okay, but back in the day, you actually had to earn it. Okay. And so she definitely earned it. I know she can act. She's never been a beautiful woman. I've never thought Meryl Streep was pretty, ever. She's always been average, but I think that's her appeal. Her appeal is that she appeals to the average-looking woman, which is mostly, I mean, hey, take a burst of bubble, ladies, but most of you are just average-looking. I know you're going to see that in a chick flick, but it's true. It's true, okay? Most of you are average, all right? And so they appeal. Meryl Streep has that appeal, okay? Regular women can relate to her. But the problem now is, like, and this happens to every actress or actor, is that they age. Okay, so the women that identify with Meryl Streep are in their fucking 70s now, in their 60s. When this movie came out, they would have been in their 50s. Okay, like Meryl Streep is. She was 58 when she filmed this movie. Okay, so they're going to be older. Okay, they're going to be people that were young in the disco era. They were in their 20s in the disco era. Okay, or their early 30s. Okay, they enjoyed disco. All right. So that's her audience, okay? That's the people who are going to show up for this movie. Now, if you know anything about theater, then you would know that, and I think it was the year 2000, this movie was actually a Broadway show. It was a Broadway show first. Whoever the producers were, they gave ABBA a lot of money to get permission to the rights for the songs, and they decided to make a Broadway show out of it, and which eventually became this movie. Okay, so it was already a nostalgia thing when it first premiered in 2000. Okay, it's just people want to relive their youth. That's what this movie was, okay? So they put the ABBA songs in there. They got professional singers. I would have loved to have seen the Broadway show, because at least I know there, you've got professional singers actually doing the singing, okay? And I would love to have heard what a professional singer sounds like singing ABBA, but not ABBA singing it, okay? But that we don't get that here, okay? We get Meryl Streep singing, SOS. I'm like, well, come on, man, this is terrible, man. Pierce Brosnan, I never want to hear Pierce Brosnan sing again, ever. He was great, James Bond. He was great as Remington Steele, for those of you who even remember that show. Okay, but singing, he is not. I don't want to hear any of these people sing. Okay, they're terrible. And then now one of them can carry a note. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. Okay, one of the biggest complaints out of this movie is the singing, because I like ABBA songs. Okay, and there's nothing but ABBA songs in this movie, but the singing is horrible. It's just horrible. I gotta like close my ears, and I gotta like, do this, dude. This is terrible. Like, what the hell am I putting myself through? I know how Dancing Queen is supposed to sound, and this ain't it. You see what I mean? It's like, what the hell am I listening to? This is crap. All right. So obviously you know how I feel about this movie. Let's continue the review, okay? Because that's what you're here for, right? Okay, now where did I leave off last time? Last time we were listening to the ABBA song Voulez-vous, okay, French, Voulez-vous. And there was a party, okay? It was an engagement party, okay? And all the girls were on one side of the island, okay? The only men that were there was our three main guys, okay? They're all old, okay? You've got Bill, who in real life was 56 years old when he filmed this movie. Okay, and he's Bill. That's Stellan Skarsgård's character. Stellan Skarsgård's character. He plays Bill, who's like has his own boat and his own motorcycle and travels the world. He's a travel writer. Okay, and then you've got Harry Bright, played by Colin Cuckforth. I call him that because all of his female co-stars in all of his movies cheat on him, including his real life wife. That's why he got divorced. Okay, she cheated on him too. Okay, anyway, and he plays the guy that's always getting cheated on by women, all right? Colin Cuckforth, and he plays a character named Harry Bright, okay? And he's a beta male, although he's super rich and lives in England, okay? And he's there too. He's 48 years old when he filmed this movie. And then you've got Pierce Brosnan's character who plays Sam, okay? And Sam, of course, is an older, good-looking guy. He's actually an American in this movie, despite the fact that he's played by a British actor. He's trying to do an American accent, but I don't think Pierce Brosnan knows how to do an American accent, because he tried to do that in Mrs. Doubtfire and it failed. There's a reason he's a great James Bond, but in this, not so much, okay? He lives in New York. He's an architect there, okay? He's divorced. His two sons are grown, so he's got nothing to do but sit around with his thumb up his ass, design skyscrapers in New York, and wait for somebody to give him a letter telling him to show up at this freaking island to go reunite with the fuck buddy he had 21 years ago. Okay, so that's what he does, okay, and he's there too. These are the only three men that are at the party. The rest of the people there are all young women, okay, dancing around, eating each other's pussies and stuff. But apparently they get turned on by these old men, so they start trying to touch them and stuff. But Sam's gonna have none of it because he's only in love with a 59-year-old, ugly as fuck Meryl Streep character named Donna. Harry Bright is a closeted homosexual, so of course he's disgusted by all these young women trying to touch him. He goes underneath the table and runs away. Okay, and then Bill actually enjoys it. He likes to fuck. Okay, even though he's an old man, he's got tattoos on his ass. I'm not kidding. They actually showed us that in the movie. And on his knees. Yeah. So, and he likes the attention. He likes all the young, hot women touching him and stuff, you know, and touching his shriveled up, wrinkled old dick. Okay, and that's realistic too. But then, of course, all the young men finally show up. I guess they took a break from the gay bar that they were at on the other side of the island. But then the whole island's a gay bar. So really, they were just, you know, having their orgy on the other side of the island, no women allowed. And now I guess they got tired now, so they start climbing the cliffs and stuff, wearing masks, because it's always safe to do that in the middle of the night. And they finally get there, and they start cohabitating and fixing the hair of all the girls and that kind of thing, you know, during this party. There's some drama involved in this party, okay, because our one of our main characters here, Sophie, 20-year-old Sophie, played by Amanda Seyfried, okay, she invited these men to the island under the pretenses that their mom was still in love with them, because apparently her mom fucked all of them in the summer of '79. That's how she was conceived, but she does not know which one of these men is her biological father, and neither is Donna, because she never bothered to get a DNA test, even though those were readily available in the 80s and 90s. Okay, but she decided the week before her wedding that she needed to know who her real father is, but now all three candidates are there. Okay, it'd be really even funnier if there was a fourth guy that was actually her father, none of these guys, because that would have just proven what a slut Donna was. That's Meryl Streep's character. Okay, now Donna, they try to play this off as if Donna was young. She was young and dumb and really horny and drank too much when she was a young lady, and that's why she allowed herself to be used and manipulated by three young men. And one of which impregnated her, okay? But if you do the math, Sophie's 20 years old. That means she would have been conceived 21 years ago. Like I said, the summer of '79. This movie takes place in the year 2000, even though the movie came out in the year 2008. Okay, that would have made Meryl Streep's character Donna 37 fucking years old when she got pregnant. Okay, and if you do the math on the men, that would have made Sam 35 years old. Bill would have been 36 years old, and Harry would have been 28 years old. Okay, so these weren't super. I mean, Harry, maybe you can make the argument that he was a young man. He did say that he was studying in Paris when he ran into Donna and followed her to the Greek island in the summer of '79. Okay, so maybe with that one I can understand young and dumb. Okay, but a 37-year-old woman who fucking who's young and accidentally got pregnant. What the fuck are you talking about? When you're 37 years old, you fucking know better. Okay, so you do the math. It makes no fucking. This movie makes no fucking sense. Okay, these weren't young dumb men. Okay, I'm sorry, but 35 is not young and dumb. It's old and dumb, not young and dumb. And neither is 37 or 36, or however the fucking old Bill's character would have been 21 years earlier. You see what I mean? So how can you make the argument that they were both young and dumb and stupid at the time? They weren't that young. Okay, Donna would have been lucky to get pregnant at 37. Okay, most women can't have kids in their mid 30s. All right, so what the fuck? This is crazy. Anyway, so Bill's character, Stellan Skarsgård's character, his aunt lived on the island. Her name was Sophia. Obviously, Sophie was named after her. He never got his inheritance from her when she died. He always wondered what happened to that money. He didn't bother to come to the island and find out what happened to the money that he should have gotten when his aunt died. He just fucking didn't do nothing until now and show up at the island. Okay, he realizes that Sophie was named after his aunt. So he realizes the most important thing to him is that, oh my God, I'm your father. I must be your dad, Sophie, because I fucked your mom. I still got a picture of her in my wallet from back then. I fucked your mom 21 years ago. You're my daughter. Okay, but he doesn't get upset that Donna obviously lied to this old lady, Sophie, and told her that her baby was actually Bill's daughter that he abandoned. And so apparently Sophia gave her the inheritance. And Donna never even bothered to tell Bill that she was even pregnant, much less tell him, hey, listen, I got your money. And this is your daughter. No. Yeah, I'm supposed to sympathize with Donna? Fuck her. Okay? And then you got Harry Bright, okay? Colin Cuckford's character, okay? Who would have been 28 when he went to the island and fucked Donna. And he also tells the story about the song that he wrote about all the women that cheat on him. Okay? And he tells her, I'm your father, Sophie. Look, I got a picture of your mom and me in my wallet. I wrote her this song. I love your father. I need to give you away at your wedding. Okay, yeah, there's that. Okay, and he's scared of girls. He's a pussy. And then you've got Sam, Sam also comes up to Sophie, goes like, oh, I must be your father, Sophie. I know that because I'm an architect. I love to draw. And I saw you drawing, and you're a great artist. That means you're my daughter because I fucked your mom 21 years ago. Look, I got a picture of her and me in my wallet. What are you doing with your life? Why are you living here on the island? You should be doing something with your artwork. Yeah, that kind of shit. All that shit happens in this movie. Anyway, so I'm going to give you away because you get married tomorrow. So all three of them are going to give her away. They don't know about each other. And none of them, they're all too fucking stupid to realize that the other two guys that are with them, okay, might also be her dad and not them. Okay? All three of them are too stupid to realize that. They're too stupid to realize they all fucked Donna at around the same time in the summer of '79. It was like in July and August of '79. They all fucked her. Okay? So like, what the hell? Okay, Donna doesn't even know which one of these guys is the father. Okay, and she's more concerned about her daughter's wedding going good because she really doesn't want her daughter to get married. She wants her daughter to fucking stay on the island and help her run the villa there that she owns. Okay, that she bought with the money she stole from Bill. Okay, and she wants her daughter to stay there with her and help her run the villa and not do anything else with her life. Never leave the island. Never explore. Never do anything. Just stay there like her. A pathetic fucking life like her. Okay? And this is the woman we're supposed to sympathize with, Donna. She's basically our main character. Okay? Everything revolves around Donna. She's the prize. All the men are after Donna. You see what I mean? And Donna's fucking old as fuck, a disgusting looking Meryl Streep. Okay, get the fuck out of here. She was never pretty. She's fucking ugly as hell. Anyway, moving right along. At this party that night, Sam follows Donna around. Tanya's there. Now, Tanya is one of Donna's drunk friends. Okay, she's been married at least 3 times. Okay, very materialistic. Okay, drunk as shit. She thinks she's hot shit because this movie was made by gay guys. The young men treat her like she's hot shit, even though she's really not. Okay, she's just about as good looking as my asshole. But they're gonna treat her like she's hot. Think Samantha from Sex and the City. Okay, average, mediocre looking woman, but everyone in the show treats her like she's a fucking next Marilyn Monroe, and she's fucking not. She ain't no fucking young Pamela Anderson. Okay, she sure as fuck ain't no Sydney Sweeney. Okay, those women are fucking hot. Okay, this one I don't think so. Young Katy Perry, that bitch was fucking hot. Okay, Tanya is fucking, like I said, is about as pretty as my asshole. Okay, and Tanya's dancing around. She's flirting with this young black 20-something-year-old bartender. Of course, is flirting back with her because, you know, the only thing that gets him hard is fucking 57-year-old, old, stretched out, late alcoholic ladies who smoke all the fucking time, and young men. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, and of course Harry's there at the party, of course, dancing like the homosexual that he fucking is. Okay. And he automatically, like I said, realized that Sophie was his daughter, okay, not realizing that it could have been the other two guys. And he tells her he'll walk her down the aisle, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now Sophie starts getting an anxiety attack because she just realized that all three of the men that she invited under false pretenses to this island to be at her wedding, she thought that once they all showed up, she would realize just by looking at them which one was her real dad, but she still hasn't figured it out. All right, so now she's having an anxiety attack because all three of them want to walk her down the aisle tomorrow for her wedding. Now, both groups of women are having meltdowns over this wedding. So Sophie and her two British friends, which don't do shit in this movie, the only reason they're there is because they're in their 20s, like Sophie, and that way she can have someone to talk to. She can explain the plot to them. Okay, it's all about the dialogue. Okay, the exposition is done through these two friends of hers. Okay, by Sophie talking to them, she's explaining to us, the audience, what's going on in this movie. Okay, that's the only reason they're there. They don't actually contribute anything to the plot. Okay, they're just there so that Sophie can have someone to explain her motivations and her plan and her plot too. Okay. Meanwhile, Donna's friends are there. Like I said, Tanya's one of them. The other one's is Rosie, who's this old fucking Estelle Getty looking woman. Okay, she calls herself a lone wolf. That's because she can't get fucking laid because she's too fucking old and ugly. All right. Anyway, and she's an alcoholic too, like Donna is, like they all are. Okay, they just drink the fucking shit and they think they're fucking hot. I know, right? Unbelievable. Anyway, okay, so they also have a plan to get rid of these guys. All right. Rosie is gonna go fishing with Bill. Okay, she's gonna go fishing with Bill on his boat, and that'll keep him occupied so that he doesn't show up to walk Sophie down for the wedding. Tanya is gonna do some water sports with Harry. Okay, and that'll keep him occupied so that he doesn't, talk to Sophie and decide to walk her down the aisle for the wedding. Okay, now Rosie falls off the raft. Okay, she falls off the raft, and Harry and Bill sit down in the boat. Okay, she falls off a raft to get to the boat. Okay, and meanwhile, inside the boat, because that's where the men are living. That's where Sam, Harry, and Bill are living because Donna kicked them off the island, off her villa. So they're living in Bill's boat. Okay, for this thing. All right, and Bill, of course, walks around butt-ass naked, except for like an apron to cook. But he's got tattoos of eyes on his ass and on his knees. And probably in his butthole too. Okay, and so Rosie takes a raft over there to his boat to get on there and distract Bill, but instead she eavesdrops on a conversation between Bill and Harry. Harry and Bill sit down on the boat, and like I said, Bill's naked, and Harry, of course, is used to sitting and having breakfast with naked men, so it's no big deal to him. Harry has no problem with this. Harry sounds like he's trying to come out to Bill. There's something I'm gonna tell you that I just need to get it out. That kind of fucking thing. Okay. And Rosie eavesdrops on their conversation. She's snooping, okay? And Harry thinks Bill is talking about some girl he met last night. So he thinks that Harry's trying to explain to him that, hey, I met some hot young girl last night, but that's not what he's trying to say, okay? Anyway, Rosie and us, like I said, we get to see Bill's eyeball ass tattoos that he has because he turns around and shows off his 57-year-old out-of-shape ass with 2 tattoos on each butt cheek. We get to see that in HD, no less, all right? To match the eyelid tattoos that he has on his knees, okay? Because that's what he does, bobs and kneels, all right? Anyway, so meanwhile, Donna cleans up the party mess, the mess from last night, the party. She's cleaning it up, and Donna has no fucking idea that Sophie, her daughter, might be involved in the potential dads, all 3 of the men, arriving at the island at the same time. So even Donna's dumb. She doesn't realize. She knows that all her fuck buddies showed up at the same time. Okay, the day before her daughter's wedding, but she has no idea as to how they got there or why they're there. All she knows is she got scared and she kicked them off the island and didn't tell them, hey, by the way, I think your daughter is getting married tomorrow. She said a local girl's getting married and I ain't got time for you. Get the fuck off my island, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but she never once thought that maybe somebody told them to show up right now. And if somebody did do that, who would be the most likely suspect to do that? Well, it would have been her daughter, Sophie. The little girl that she raised all by herself without any child support from these rich men. Okay, but yet she still complains about not having enough money. Okay, the little girl that she raised without a father figure. Donna never got married. She never had a boyfriend that we know of. No man to help take care of her daughter. She did it all by herself. Okay, with the exception of stealing Bill's money so she could buy the villa. Other than that, she did it all by herself. Okay, and deprive these men of raising their own kid. Okay, although only one of them is the actual father. So we think it's probably a fourth guy that doesn't even show up in this movie. Because Sophie doesn't look like any of the guys. Okay, so she doesn't figure out because she's too stupid to realize that Sophie probably invited them. Okay, the thought never occurs to her. Okay, just like this never occurs to anyone else in the fucking movie. Okay, instead she asks if Sophie and Sky had a fight last night. Yeah, that's her concern. Did y'all have a fight last night? And Donna offers to call off the wedding, which is what she really wants to do. Like I said, she doesn't want her daughter to get married. Her daughter's only 20 years old. She wants her daughter to stay there forever and help her run the villa, okay? And, she assumes that Sophie has cold feet. And she says, it's not too late for me to call off the wedding. I'll do it right now, But Sophie tells her that calling off the wedding is what she wants, okay? Is what Donna wants, not what Sophie wants. No, Mom. Calling off the wedding is what you want, not what I want. Okay, so of course she has a hissy fit, all right? And she wants her to end up alone, because Donna wants her to end up alone and miserable on the island like her, okay? But Donna's too fucking stupid to realize that. All she cares about are her own fucking selfish interests. Anyway, moving right along, Sophie tells Donna, her mother, you never did the marriage and baby thing. You only did the baby thing. I want to get married, Mom. I don't want my children to grow up not knowing who their father was. Because that's just crap. So you waited 20 years to tell her this? Why didn't you tell her this when you were like 11 or 12? Okay, when you're old enough to realize, okay, how come I don't have a daddy like all the other kids do? You see what I mean? And I can just say, oh, Donna, well, your father was just a summer fling and he didn't even know, he left before I even learned about you, okay? But why didn't you help her find him? I mean, she knew who it was. And if you didn't want your daughter to know, why the fuck did you keep those diaries in the attic that she could easily get to and read and find out who the three men were that you fucked at the same time? That she could easily track down, even though they're in different parts of the fucking world. I mean, for Christ's sake, Bill lived on a fucking boat in Europe. Okay, and yet Sophie still tracked him down. Okay, I mean, come on. Why would you keep that if you never wanted your daughter to know? Why would you think that your daughter would never, ever want to know who her dad was? Get the fuck out of here. Okay? But she waits. So Sophie waited till like the week before her wedding to realize that she absolutely needed to know who her father was, to meet her father in real life. Okay? And Donna yells at all her male employees. Okay, because of this, okay? Because that's what she does, all right? Anyway, moving right along, Sam now confronts Donna. That's Pierce Brosnan's character. And he reminds her that they once dreamed of owning a villa on this island, okay? So obviously, they were more than just fucking 21 years ago, okay? They had some dreams and aspirations for themselves, okay? They wanted to own a villa on this island, okay? And on the island together once. That was their dream, okay? Now that makes sense as to why Donna, because Donna's a bitch to all three of these men. She never really welcomed them, okay? She saw them, what are you doing here? Get the fuck out, is basically what she said, okay? So that's why Donna is such a bitch to Sam, okay? He's the only one of the three men that fucked her over despite her knowing that he was engaged to someone else, okay? See, that's what happened, okay? Apparently they fell in love, okay? And I don't fucking buy it. But apparently Donna fell in love with Sam fell in love with Donna, but Sam was already engaged to another woman. So rather than call off the wedding with his fiance, well, actually, that's not what happened. He didn't call off the wedding with his fiance. He left Donna to go marry his fiance, which obviously broke Donna's heart, made her bitter, okay? And that's why she's angry at Sam. That explains why she's a bitch to Sam. Does not explain why she's a bitch to Bill and Harry. She's a bitch to all three of them. And Harry and Bill didn't do anything wrong. And like I said, if anything, she should be begging Bill forgiveness for stealing his inheritance. Okay, that's what she should be doing. But of course, this movie ain't going to go there because, the women in these movies don't ever really do anything wrong. It's only the men that fuck up. And the men, by the way, none of them are mad that Donna didn't tell them. They're just upset at themselves for not being there to raise their daughter. I should have been there for you. I feel like shit. Like it's their fucking fault. Jesus Christ, okay? All right, I'm going to stop right here because I'm losing my shit, but I'll be back shortly to continue my review of this piece of crap movie. I thank you for watching this long, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.